So what is underneath your noses that you are ignoring? I want to show you what was underneath mine. This thing. Can you see it? It's a bit big, I know, right? Here you go. That's called a foam roller. And what's really interesting about foam rollers is that they help you when you are experiencing a lot of pain in your muscles if you're doing loads of exercise. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm very much trying to increase my general health and fitness. And I see that the experience that I'm going through as a kind of like last chance. You know, in your 20s, you kind of feel that you're invincible and you can pretty much do anything when it comes to your health and fitness. And then in your 30s, you kind of become a little bit lazy. And then in your 40s, you realize that this is the time when you need to fix the situation, or it is going to be a lot harder. So that's the phase of life that I am in at the moment. And with the new year, I kind of like upped my ante a little bit. So I've been going to the gym, doing my regular classes, but I've also started a skipping routine, a jump rope routine. And if anybody is interested, ask, and I'm going to share with the link with you just below in one of these comments, because I tell you, this particular jump routine is really, really good because it's easy to do, it's easy to start. There's a beginner kind of like I'm doing the New Year challenge at the moment, and then I'm going to move on to the different challenges. But oh my gosh, my body is in a lot of pain. And there's a really interesting article actually in The Guardian just yesterday talking about DOMS. Now, if you don't know what DOMS is delayed onset muscular something or other, I can't remember. Basically, it's the pain that takes place when you do a lot of exercise and your muscles hurt, right? Now, when you start exercising again, your muscles are no doubt going to say, hello, I am here, and why are you punishing me? But what's really, really interesting about that is that I think that there are easy cures to DOMS. I mean, the article, I'm happy to share that with you in the comments as well. But what's really, really interesting about the article is it never actually gave any solutions for things that you can do. And I've got kind of a number of things that I do. One, I really recommend taking a potassium supplement, something like, anywhere from 3,000 and above during the day. You can get a lot of potassium from foods like spinach and other leafy green vegetables and things. But it really, really helps. When I take potassium and I use a magnesium spray, honestly, like I can push myself to places where I will not have imagined. And it's like yesterday I was speaking about how we can push our limits. We set where our own boundaries are, right? And if you get to that place where you do push your limits, then actually the solution in terms of how the muscles are responding and how you can actually support them is those two things. Actually, I've got a third thing from today. So it's magnesium spray, and I would say use the magnesium spray at night before you go to bed, because then it will just absorb a little bit better. And if you use it during the day, I have heard that sometimes people can feel quite lethargic. And what's great about magnesium is it also helps you to sleep better. So a magnesium spray, and honestly, potassium supplement. I don't get those tiny little pills that you can get because the dosage on them is quite low. I use powder, and the powder, just mix it with water and drink it. You actually won't even notice that anything is there. Now, the third thing is the answer that was under my nose, which is this, right? Now, I've had this foam roller in my house for many, many, many months, and it was acting as a doorstop. We've all got that thing in our house that becomes the doorstop, right? And today, because I actually asked one of the PTs at the gym the other day, and I said, well, what should I do? Because my quads are in a lot of pain, and your quad muscles are the largest muscle in your body. and they said, well, sports massage would be great, but if you don't want to do that regularly, foam roll, and foam roll where it hurts. Now, you can look up resources that will show you how to do that. And actually, it's not a very expensive piece of equipment. But the point of my whole kind of session and discussion for you today is that there are things that are literally underneath your noses that you are ignoring. And it could be something physical, like this foam roller for me. I mean, I'd been advised to start using it. I kind of had been looking at it pretty much every single day. And yet only today did I start using it. And it's amazing because all of a sudden today, like after having used it, and yeah, it hurt, right? But it's just the pain is a lot less. And there is always going to be this time in your life where you experience pain. It can be physical, psychological, emotional, or even spiritual. But when you work out a strategy for how you can respond to it in a positive way, you will keep fighting for yourself. And you'll keep fighting for the ambitions and the goals and the dreams that you've got. And sometimes the answer is in equipment or courses or talks or whatever it is that are just literally underneath your nose. And I find this on kind of like two spectrums. One, I find it incredibly frustrating that we are ignoring the resources that we have. And two, I actually find it really, really empowering, because chances are the solution is already there. It's in your grasp. It's waiting for you. You probably are looking at it every single day, but you're ignoring it. And then the time is going to come where one day you're just kind of like, oh, of course, I have the answer. It's just there. And then you'll pick it up and then you'll do something with it. And these solutions, they don't necessarily even need to be physical things. Sometimes they're just ideas that you have in your head and you think, of course, that's what I need to do. But what happens is sometimes we live in this space of avoidance. And when we live in avoidance, what we're doing is we're actually ignoring the thing that we need the most. Right? So I would encourage you to think about, what is it that you want to do in your life? What is the kind of thing that you're working on? What is it, the goal that you're looking towards? It doesn't matter what it is, right? But how can you find the solution that is going to help you to get to that next step, whatever it may be? I hear a lot of people message me and they're like, Sayeda, how can we start a new business? Sayeda, how can I find a coach? How can I do this? How can I do that? And whenever you want to do something, I would always say, number one, look, we've got this gift called Google, right? You can Google anything these days. My son is really interested in cooking. He's 12 years old. He loves cooking. He's been playing around with some Gordon Ramsay recipes and other bits and pieces. And so for me, I want him to investigate and research his own interest, right? So he wanted to make, what does he want to make? Like chicken noodle soup. So I said to him, find a recipe, get the instructions, we'll go and get it, you can go and cook it. What did he have to do? He literally just had to go into Google, or was it Siri or something, and just say, give me a recipe for chicken noodle soup. And that was it. And then he started to write down the recipe. It's not hard. So actually, kind of moving on from just the physical things that we have, like my foam roller here, moving on from this as the solution. If there is something that you want to do, the answer is actually underneath your nose. The question then is whether you're actually going to do something about it and look for that answer. Because this foam roller was in my house all that time, and I knew it was there, and I was looking for it. In fact, I knew that it was the answer. But some part of me was ignoring that. And so today, when I picked it up and I did it, I got the solution. Now the challenge is to maintain it and then to do it regularly. So as I'm saying this to you, I know that you are thinking about a particular situation or context or thing that you want to do in your life. And yet you know where the answer is, you're just holding yourself back. So for me, I'm always going to want to encourage you to make that thing happen. And how you make that happen is by doing the research, by identifying your next step. Look, if it's something huge that you want to do, you don't need to know the whole path. It doesn't need to be laid out for you. You just need to know what's the next stop that you're going to. What is the next step that you need to take? Because once you've taken one, then you'll just keep on going and you'll keep on moving forward, right? It's not rocket science. What is rocket science is you making a decision that you do actually want these results. And when you make that kind of personal resolution to yourself and you say, okay, I'm going to do something about this, I'm actually going to I'm going to invest effort into my life, into my dreams, then all of a sudden you are actually going to be taking the steps forward that your life deserves, that you deserve. So find out, where are the answers? What is it that's underneath your nose that you're ignoring? And how can that help you? Because that's where I think a lot of solutions to internal challenge and internal focus lives. And yeah, you've got to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable to do that. But when you do that, you'll be amazed at what happens. Okay, I would love to hear it if you have any comments or any thoughts on what I've said. And also, don't forget, do take the opportunity to go and join the Make It Happen challenge. It's happening over at www.sayyidah.com. That's www.sayyidah.com. And there you'll get lots of resources on how you can slay that dragon of procrastination, how you can actually increase your levels of energy. And today we are actually looking at energy specifically. And that's why it's interesting that I'm talking about this foam roller, because that video for me was a very, very hard one to do. But, you know, it's kind of, sometimes we've literally got to put in extra effort and draw all of the resources that we have in order to be able to get the work done. Because life, here's the thing, tomorrow I'm going to talk about, is life hard or is life easy? Because I think that that's quite an interesting thing that I was reflecting on today. Is life challenging or is life easy? But we'll come on to that tomorrow. Okay, so let me just come over here to Facebook. And if you've got any questions or comments, I'm going to pick those up. Walaikum salam to Fazana, to Hamida, hi to Sarah, Aisha, lovely to see you here. Assalamu alaikum. Let's have a look. Okay, Fazana says, you just reminded me, I bought some tablets for my son. Where are they now? I know. And the doorstop, like we've all got something that acts as the doorstop that it shouldn't. You know, we all have. I can't remember actually the last time I used a proper doorstop, but paperwork, yep. And Fazana saying she's not doing very well. Sleep is overpowering her. Watch the recording later. Okay, we'll see you. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. And you know, lots of prayers for your health as well. Okay, let's move over here to Instagram. Glorious goodness, lovely to see you here, Hannah. And Lulu, nice to see you. Ish, great to see you again. And Principle of Happiness. The topic was, what is underneath your noses that you are ignoring? I hope that has been helpful for you. Remember, you can kind of message me. You can comment about topics that you would like me to cover, and I will do that in these live sessions. I try and come live at around the same time every day. So hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Okay then, bye and assalamu alaikum.